We're here with Susana Almanza, candidate for Austin City Council, District 3. Thank you for being here. I really appreciate it, Susana.
Thank you.
When you think of the next 5 years and Austin's future, what is your greatest hope for our environment, and what is your greatest fear?
Well, I would really wish that we'd have a more balanced environment. Right now, I think there's a great inequality. Mm-hmm. I think when I look at our streams and our rivers and our waters, I see that they're not being taken care of the way I would wish. Mm-hmm. You know, we cannot swim in a lot of the waters, bodies of waters out there. A lot of the bodies of waters are contaminated. So I'd like to see that addressed.
How would we deal with that? What do you want to provide leadership in that area?
Well, I think one of the things that we've been working on is looking at the streams and looking at cleaning the streams, Walnut, Taylor South, some of the other streams that we're looking at. And we found that a lot of that has been due to dog waste in the streams. And so we need to do a lot of education with our communities about, you know, because we're now a big pet community.
Right.
And we need to make sure that we're picking up after our pets and that when they're in the water, you know, people used to think the pets don't use water when they go to the restroom, but they do. Mm-hmm. And so we got to make sure that we're also taking care of that. We have to look at, as new companies come in, what are they dumping in the water, and making
right.
sure that they have the cleanup processes on site. That's one of the things I would like to see, is that that water is treated on site before it's dumped into the water system. I would like to see also that we reduce our carbon footprint. One of the things that we did through Poder was help close the Holly Power Plant, which
right.
was a large carbon footprint in our
right.
community, the tank farm. So there's been a lot of things that are that we've helped to do away with, but I think there's still a lot of more work that we have to do.
So let's talk about energy sources. Decker, where do you stand on what we should do with that?
I think that we really need to look at our goal of how we phase out Decker. Mm-hmm. How do we begin to phase out Decker, and how do we look at alternative uses for Decker? You know, whether storing water or etc. We need to really look at different tools, but I do agree that we need to look at a phase out for the Decker Power Plant.
How about Fayette?
Fayette is another thing. I mean, with the Fayette coal plant, I also think we should look at that goal of phasing out Fayette, reducing it, beginning to look at solar energy, wind energy, looking at using solar energy on all the rooftops, making sure that we have programs in place with the city that will help low-income people, working-class people, right. so they can all go to solar, look at weatherization of the homes, of buildings, all of these things that we really need to do to make sure that we are conserving energy.
Okay. In terms of, so this makes me think about you and your advocacy for your community. How do you see you balancing your time between, you know, district issues and citywide issues? Mm-hmm.
Well, a lot of the issues in our district, yes, they are citywide issues, and some are not. I mean, the issue of affordability and taxation, those are all district-wide issues. The issues of transportation, congestion, those are citywide issues. But when we look at employment and job creation, those are more in our district. When we look at what types of jobs are we creating, because in District 3 we have a majority of people working at minimum wage or just right. a little bit above minimum wage. So we need to look at a $15 an hour minimum wage is one of the things that I'd like to work on. I've been studying what Seattle did and seeing how they were able to do that. And there's a big $15 movement happening throughout the United States, so look at that. But definitely look at larger issues. But also, I think District 3 has been neglected for such a long time, and that's why we have a lot of problems in the area, that right. we really need to focus at that, and then look at how do we look at and work together on citywide issues.
Okay. Arguably, the largest problem we're all dealing with is the faceless issue of climate change. Our council has adopted a bold goal to reach net zero greenhouse gas emissions community-wide by 2050, with the goal of as much reduction as fast as possible. What can you do to provide leadership among the people in your district to get them to understand this issue and start taking actions?
Well, you know, I think that in District 3, a lot of people have already been doing that, because people are, there's a big majority of poor people and working poor people, in the lower middle class, that people have been very conscious about saving energy, not turning on lights if you know, not doing waste. You'll find a lot of this when I go and my friends, and they're barely just, making sure that they're only using energy when they really have to. Now, I will say that a lot of the homes need to be weatherized and things like that. But I think in setting that goal, we've got to set that goal. And to do education, I'm involved with La Raza Roundtable, ABLA, 3 neighborhood plan contact teams. So there's a lot of education, and we do a lot of education in the schools. We got the Navigator Healthy Communities Climate Justice that we do. So we educate people about water use, energy, alternative energies. We talk about the soil, the earth, and the gardens, and about the wind. So these are things we're already doing in the schools with parents and educating them and trying to bring them up to par on the issues and how we need to continue to better, for us, Mother Earth, and create that balance between humanity and nature.
Excellent. So transportation and land use are critical citywide issues that the council has to lead on. What do you think we need to do are you supporting Prop 1?
No, I'm not supporting Prop 1.
What should we be doing? What suite of alternatives do we need to be promoting? And how does that tie to land use development that you think we should be doing?
Well, I've been involved in land use issues, especially in District 3, because we were one of the areas that had 90% of the industrial zoning, and we had homes that were zoned industrial and commercial. So there was a lack of compatibility in our communities, and we made history by rezoning over 600 properties in East Austin. When we look at the whole issue of transportation locally in the community, we need to look, we're way behind on just sidewalk, basic needs as sidewalks. I mean, a lot of people don't even think about these, but we're looking at sidewalks, we're talking about walking trails, bike trails, we're talking about traffic lights, we're talking about very basic services for East Austin. We're looking also, when it comes to transportation, rapid bus service. We're looking at crosstown rapid service instead of just north and south, east and west, more frequency of the bus lanes. We also need to look at high occupancy vehicle lanes, HOV lanes. We need to do, how do we address the bottlenecks immediately? Those are things that we can really address. But making sure, too, as we do land development, that we look at bringing small businesses into the community and retaining the small business that we have now, so that we can continue to have those walkable communities. And those are very important things that I think that we need to replicate throughout the city.
All right. Well, it's been a pleasure talking with you. Thank you for being here, Susana.
Thank you very much.